Anti-democratic administrations. A timeline of the events in Turkey. Our country does not have a very brilliant history when it comes to anti-democratic administrations, but in each case democracy has always won. The military has intervened directly in Turkish politics 3 times, and in 1997 carried out a postmodern coup. In 2016 a failed coup attempt. 1960. May the 27th. The first coup in the Turkish Republic took place in 1960, during a time of heightened tensions between the Turkish government and the opposition. Growing tensions caused the Menderes government to impose martial law in early 1960. The army stepped in and toppled the government on May the 27th. The president, prime minister and several cabinet members were arrested and quickly tried for treason and other offences. Menderes was executed. General Ismail Gusel assumed power as both president and prime minister, beginning a period of military-dominated politics that would last until 1965. 1971. March the 12th. The Turkish economy stagnated in the late 1960s, and the recession caused widespread unrest. Workers' groups staged demonstrations, sometimes violent, and right-wing groups carried out attacks of their own. The currency was devalued in 1960. Annual inflation reached nearly 80%. March the military intervened once again, an effort to restore order. Mehmet Tagmak, the chief of the General Staff, gave a memorandum to the Prime Minister, Süleyman Demirel. It accused his government of driving the country into anarchy and demanded the formation of a strong and credible government. Demirel resigned hours later, after meeting with his cabinet. The military did not rule directly during this period. It first asked Nihat Tarim, a member of the right-wing Republican People's Party, to form a caretaker government. It lasted until 1973. 1980. September the 12th. Instability continued even after the 1971 coup. Turkey changed prime ministers 11 times in the 1970s. The economy continued to stagnate, and left and right-wing groups continued their violent clashes in the streets. Thousands of people were assassinated. The military began discussing a possible coup in late 1979, and in March 1980 a group of generals recommended that they move forward. Evan became president, and a naval officer, Bülent Uluzu, assumed the post of prime minister. A new constitution was drafted and put before a public referendum in 1982. It was overwhelmingly approved. These years of military rule did bring some stability to Turkey. Uluzu was succeeded in 1983 by Turgut Özal, who is now widely credited with stabilizing the Turkish economy. 1997. February the 28th. The 1995 election led to overwhelming gains for the Welfare Party, which took power the following year as the head of a coalition government. In 1997 the military issued a series of recommendations, which the government had no choice but to accept. The Prime Minister, Mehmet Bacon, agreed to a compulsory 8-year education program to prevent pupils from enrolling in religious schools, a headscarf ban at universities, and other measures. Bacon was then forced to resign. The Welfare Party was shut down in 1998, and Bacon was banned from politics for 5 years. Some former members of the party, including current President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, would eventually go on to found the Justice and Development Party. 2016. July the 15th. Late Friday, tanks rolled onto the streets of the capital, Ankara, and Istanbul. Uniformed soldiers blocked the famous Bosphorus Bridge connecting the European and Asian sides of Istanbul. Shortly before midnight local time, a faction of the military issued a statement, saying that political administration that has lost all legitimacy has been forced to withdraw. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan addressed the nation via FaceTime. Speaking to a CNN Turkish anchor who held her phone so viewers could see it, he urged people to take to the streets to stand up to the military faction behind the uprising. Within a few hours, during which gunshots were heard at the presidential palace, the Grand National Assembly was bombed and civilians were killed by the coup soldiers. The Turkish National Intelligence Unit claimed the coup was over, but not before 290 people were killed and more than 1,400 people were injured. For democracy. Democracy is in the very essence of the Turkish people. A call by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan changed the course of the failed coup. People from every member of the society were on the streets for democracy. Of the people, by the people, for the people. Thank you for listening.